What's up, guys? Welcome back to Pound for Pound House. UFC Mexico goes down this Saturday. I'm going to be just talking about two fights: Yair Rodriguez versus Brian Ortega, and Brendan Moreno versus Brandon Royval. Those are two fights I'm touching up on. I'm watching those fights pretty closely. I'm interested in those fights. I want to see where they kind of go. And yeah, let's just jump into it. Start off with the El Pantera. Yair Rodriguez. So he's 31, gonna be 32 this year. 5'11", 71 inch in reach. He's a very, crafty guy. He has like a very interesting way of fighting. He does some roundhouse kicks, elbows, throws them from all different angles. The guy is super crafty. He has a great mix up in his game. But looking at his record now, he's had, where'd it go? He has 18 wins, 4 losses, and obviously in his last fight, he lost against Alexander Volkanovski, which was an interesting fight, but, got outclassed by Volk, which was unfortunate. Then he fought Josh Emmett, which he won by a triangle choke, and then Brian Ortega, which he will be fighting again. Unfortunately, the last go didn't work out too well because of a shoulder injury that Brian Ortega had. And then before that, he lost to Max Holloway, which was a dog fight. I mean, they both look fucked up, real bad. I remember they both, like, I know Max went to the ambulance to go, I guess, hug it out, which was crazy. But they looked all messed up and shit. But a great fight nonetheless. And then he had some canceled bouts. I didn't even realize he was supposed to fight Zabit, which twice. And if he would have fought him, boy, oh boy, that would have been a crazy ass fight. Because they're both, like crazy. They're both they're very like, not just technical, but like they're just both crafty, and they're both, they both have like surprise attacks, and it's all like they fight all different angles. It's amazing. They're both amazing fighters, but it would have been a great fight to see them actually go at it. Unfortunately, that never worked out, but whatever. It is what it is. And then he's obviously had some good other names under his belt, like, the Korean Zombie, BJ Penn, Andre Fili, Dan Hooker. I mean, he's fought some great names. So he's definitely, he's been around. He's fought some good names, and, he's been to championship fights. That makes him dangerous. But now, moving over to Brian Ortega. Whew, T-City, man. He's about to be 33 years old. Actually, tomorrow. Happy birthday, Brian Ortega. 15-3, currently on a two fight losing streak. He's shorter than him. He has a shorter reach. But decent record. I mean, not too far off from Yair. His last 2 losses, one was obviously for the injury, and then obviously Volk, which was a freaking amazing fight. I mean, if you haven't watched it, then I don't know what to tell you. You should be damn watching that damn fight, because that was an amazing fight. This man took a shit ton of beating, and he almost had Volk in a lock, which Volk got out of, which was crazy. So, amazing fight. Kudos to Volk, but kudos to him, for that fight. That was an amazing fight. He fought the Korean Zombie. He's fought Max Holloway. Got the shit beat out of him by Max Holloway, unfortunately, where they had to do a doctor stoppage. And before that, he was just, whooping ass. He was just going, man. He was on an undefeated streak. I mean, he was a hot prospect. But, it just didn't, Max Holloway kind of shut that out, unfortunately. That's Max Holloway for you, Mr. CTE. Just saying. Yeah, no, I mean he's obviously had some big names under his belt as well. He's beat Cub Swanson, Frankie Edgar. He's beat the Korean Zombie. He's fought some big people as well. Some decent names. Nothing, not over the top, but decent names. Clay Guida. So he's been around. He's been around. And now he's back at it with Yair, which is interesting. Now, how does this fight actually play out? So what happens in this fight, or what's at least my thoughts of what's going to happen. Now, like I said before, Yair is a very crafty fighter. He's a fighter that uses all his tools. He's very good at, maneuvering. He's good at striking from every angle, kicking, punches. But pretty much, he's a very well-rounded fighter. And it's interesting to see how that's all gonna actually play out with somebody like Ortega, who's a great jiu-jitsu specialist. And is Ortega gonna catch is Ortega gonna catch Yair? Is he gonna catch him in the submissions? Is he not? Is Yair gonna slip out? Maybe. So the way I kind of see this going, obviously all fights start off standing, right? They start off with the striking. So I think that in the striking area, Yair has the advantage. Now, as it goes to the ground, I think it's just going to be, if it goes to the ground, Ortega takes it from there. At least I feel so. Now the question really comes into play is that, has the shoulder healed? How's Brian doing, after that injury? He was out for such a long time. I mean, it's been roughly a little bit over, 15 months, 16 months, something like that. So, it's been a while. So it's interesting to see how he's recovered from that, or how he is with that shoulder. Does it get injured again? Or, how does that play out? Because that happened, I believe, if I'm correct, I believe it was during the exchange anyways in grappling. So, I mean, I want to say that considering everything, I feel like the fight, I feel like Ortega might take it. I feel like Ortega takes it. And I only think that because he's good at taking the fight to the ground. And then I also, they look at it, the fight with him against Volk and how that fight went. So I feel like, comparing both of their fights, I feel like Ortega might take this fight. I think it could be a submission. Could be a submission. Not 100% on that, but I feel like it could be a submission. Or he wins by decision. That's the only other thing I think. Aside from that, Yair can win standing on the feet. If it stays standing, I feel like Yair would take that. But as an official pick, I'll probably just go with Ortega. I think Ortega takes it to the ground, or somehow gets it to the ground and is able to do where he's best, do his work where he's best at. So let's see how that plays out. And now jumping over to the two Brandons. First off, let's start off with Brandon Royval. He's 31 years old, 5'9", and about a 70-inch reach. 15 wins, 7 losses. His last fight was against Pantoja, which obviously Pantoja won, and that was that. Now, the thing about Pantoja is that I've never, I don't know, I was not the craziest fan of him. I mean, he's obviously, he's a decent fighter, but I think that last fight with Pantoja really was like, for me, it was like, I wasn't so crazy about him afterwards. I was already like not so much into him, that's to begin with. But then after that fight, I was a little bit like, a little bit like steer away from him. And now him fighting Brandon again kind of throws me off because it's like the same sequence. If you look at it, like, see, he fought Brandon Moreno last time and then he lost. And then he fought Pantoja and then he lost. Now this time he fought Pantoja first and now he lost. And now he's fighting Brandon Moreno again. I feel like it's always a back-to-back with these two, right? But yeah, I mean, he's fought Brandon before. He's fought Pantoja. He's fought Kai France. He's fought Tim Elliott. He's fought some big names. And, he's obviously somebody that's been around. He's in the top 5. So, he's a well-rounded fighter. It's just, I mean, they call him Raw Dog for a reason because the guy just goes out there and fights. And so he's not backing off. He's going to take a punch. He's going to give a punch. So he's definitely somebody there to scrap. But moving into Brandon Moreno, the assassin baby. He's 30 years old. He's 5'7" with 70-inch reach. I think they had the same reach, actually. Yeah, it's about the same reach. There's a little bit of height difference, but reach-wise, they're the same. And I think they're just about a year apart. Brandon Moreno has been, to me personally, been a lot more exciting in the last couple years, especially. I mean, he's fought Pantoja. He lost that fight by a split decision, which was a pretty close fight. It was a really good fight. And then he was supposed to fight Amir Abazi, but that didn't work out. That fight didn't happen. He fought Davison Figueiredo, which was obviously the those was it 3 fights that they had? Amazing fights that they had. The first one being a draw. I mean, his whole come-up story has been amazing. He's beat Kai France. Obviously beat Davison Figueiredo. He's beat so many. He's beat a lot of people. Unfortunately, he's lost to Figueiredo twice. But he's been moving up. He's been showing that he's a dog. He's ready to scrap. He's not backing up from nobody. And, he's just a great fighter. And I love watching him fight personally. He, like I said, he just comes out there and he has this little style of fighting, which is kind of cool. I like it. And he doesn't back up. So between these two, it's going to be an interesting scrap. I don't see how hopefully, this is not a boring fight. As you guys can see with my, one-sided ass breakdown, really going for Brandon Moreno. I'm definitely going with Brandon Moreno for this fight. It's going to be interesting. I know the last fight was a shoulder injury, then ground and pound or whatever it was, but I'm going for Brandon Moreno this fight. I think, Brandon Moreno has evolved so much. He's got the dog in him, just like Brandon Royval, but I don't know. I think Moreno got this. Moreno goes in there and shows him kind of why he's the number one. And yeah, I'm excited to see this fight. There's not much else to say on them. It's just going to be a great scrap. UFC Mexico. It's going to be very interesting. And then it's going to be interesting to see, especially with these two divisions that they're having, with Brandon Royval and Brandon Moreno and Brian Ortega and Yair Rodriguez, the division moving with these two fights, because they're both at the top of their divisions. These 4 fighters are all at the top of their divisions. It's going to be interesting to see how it moves towards title contentions or what happens. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited for both of them. Both of these fights are going to be awesome. I cannot wait. Who do you guys have winning on these fights? What do you think happens afterwards? I want to know it all. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. And, hopefully this is an exciting card. And I'll see you guys on the next one.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like this video. Also, if you're enjoying the content, please consider subscribing, and don't forget to hit the bell icon so you can see all the new videos I upload.